Welcome to the Josh Button Podcast, where we discuss health, wellness, and outliers from society. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Josh Button Podcast, episode 45. The war on free thinking and independence. I'm going to tell you right now why I do not trust the establishment, why I do not trust thought leaders that the mainstream media and the current narrative supports and suggests is the end-all be-all, because I don't think you should either. I don't think any of us should. Look, why would I continue to trust the obviously untrustworthy, obviously lying, obviously the individuals and the sources that have been proven to be manipulating reality, manipulating statistics, manipulating things for their point of view, and silencing dissenters? Let's be quite honest. They've silenced and censored more in the last few years, or at least we've paid attention to it and we've noticed it more in the last few years, than we have in our lifetimes. And hopefully there is a little bit of a snowball effect, because you can't really tolerate it forever, can you? Just being told to hush and stay in the corner, and your free thinking, your critical thinking, your thinking outside of the narratives is just unacceptable. It's a danger to mankind. Well, I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is not new. Look, when I was a kid, National Geographic was a well-respected journal, a publication. I loved it. I remember looking into it and thinking about wildlife and things that they would share and teach, and the imagery, it was just beautiful. Well, in 2015, I presented this to my father, The War on Science. And we're going to go through it a little bit today because it is, in my opinion, incriminating and pertinent. All right. The War on Science. The cover says, climate change does not exist. Evolution never happened. The moon landing was fake. Vaccinations can lead to autism. Genetically modified food is evil. All through, this is 2015, mind you. 2015. I gave this to my dad and I said, this will be interesting. Let's see how this stands the test of time. And he just gave it back to me. Ironic that I was there for him cleaning out some books and some things, and he gave this back to me, and I was kind of stoked to get it, because to revisit it 9 years later, well, I'm not a prophet, but I sure felt like one for a minute, because they were admitting they were full of shit then. Excuse my language. Let's go through a little bit of this write-up. Skepticism about science is on the rise, and polarization is the order of the day. What's causing reasonable people to doubt reason? The age of disbelief. The first thing they open with is this crap. I don't know if you're into the truther community. I'm not really a huge InfoWars fan, but InfoWars is having an interesting debate, a flat earth debate. And say what you will, think what you're gonna. I know where most people's, with their ability to actually entertain different thought ends, and it's usually well before flat earth. I am completely aware of that. I've had this conversation a million times, and people will find out that I just do not believe in heliocentrism and the globe, and they think I'm absolutely nuts, I'm crazy, I'm insane in the membrane. But they've never looked at it twice. They took what they were fed when they were in elementary school, the science that they learned, the things that they've memorized and repeated over and over and over again, and they're just not able to entertain this potential just travesty, this potential earth and reality shattering possibility that we were lied to about the actual system we live in and Earth itself. Today's not a flat earth episode. Today is, why the heck would you trust these people that have continuously lied to us and then been caught in their lies over and over and over again? I believe this is insanity if we do. You keep keep doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. That is insanity, is it not? Let's read a little bit of this. This is by Joel Achenbach, by the way. And the very first page, he has the Anti-Evolution League. This was in 1925 in Dayton, Tennessee, where they said modern biology makes no sense without the concept of evolution. But religious activists in the United States continue to demand that creationism be taught as an alternative in biology class. When science conflicts with a person's core beliefs, it usually loses. Interesting. I think we've seen that science is the core beliefs of a lot of people, and that critical thinking and religion, or anything else for that matter, has lost in a lot of these people, and they're paying the price. They're facing consequences right now with their health. There's a scene in Stanley Kubrick's comic masterpiece Dr. Strangelove in which Jack D. Ripper, an American general who's gone rogue and ordered a nuclear attack on the Soviet Union, unspools his paranoid worldview, and the explanation for why he drinks only distilled water or rainwater and only pure grain alcohol. He just goes through this to Lionel Mandrake, a dizzy with anxiety group captain in the Royal Air Force. Ripper, have you ever heard of a thing called fluoridation? Fluoridation of water? Mandrake, yes, I have heard of that, Jack. Yes. Well, do you know what it is? No, I don't. What is it? Do you realize that fluoridation is the most monstrously conceived and dangerous communist plot we have ever had to face? Now, here they go on to, that was just the scene recap. They go on to, in this article, say that by the time this came out in 1964, that the health benefits of fluoridation had been thoroughly established, and anti-fluoridation conspiracy theories could be the stuff of comedy. Think about this, people. National Geographic. Do you believe fluoridation is good for you? It's good for your teeth. Like a little bit of poison is good for you to introduce to your body every single day. It's going to protect your teeth. Really? If people are still buying this, they're probably still wearing a mask and driving around in their cars alone, and they're boosted for sure. All right. So this was the far-fetched paranoia, to not want fluoride in your water to start. Then they go into the moon landings, how they could not possibly have been faked. I don't know if you've been paying attention lately, but NASA fakes everything. They fake everything, and there's plenty of employees from NASA that admit they do because they had to do it. Actually, there's a film coming out now too. One of my least favorite persons in the entire universe is going to be lead in this film, but that's another story altogether. It's complete propaganda about why they would stage fake moon landings and present that to the public. I'm sorry, I'm having headphone difficulties here. So the next thing they go into, ironically enough, is square and stationary Earth. Look, all ancient cultures believed the Earth was stationary. It was stationary, and it was the center of the universe, the universe. The sun and the moon rotated like the stars above this plane we call Earth. And I don't care who you are, if you actually go and think about this and present these things to yourself, well, strategically and fairly, you are going to come to the conclusion that there is a very good possibility you were lied to. The math doesn't make sense. Look, let's break this down real quick, because I know I said this isn't a flat Earth episode, but you're presented this solar system, you're presented this model where the sun is the center of the universe, and the Earth is spinning around it, and the moon spinning around Earth, and all the other planets, of course, are all rotating and speeding throughout space and rotating around the sun. Just this one little thing that really triggered thought process in the beginning of this for me was, if the Earth is spinning, and it's rotating around the sun, why would our constellations consistently and always be the same exact thing? Think about this. I don't have a round object to illustrate this right now, but think about the round object, the tip of this pen even, spinning and rotating around this microphone even. You're constantly getting, and it has to be at day and night, different views of the universe. The constellations should change. The North Star, the Polaris, is always there. It's always there. The stars constantly go like this. If you set up your camera, you can see the skyscape. Constellations do not change. The curvature for the Earth, the spherical trigonometry would suggest 0.08 miles per mile squared of curvature, and we just do not observe that. We observe a flat, stationary plane, and perspective is everything. Yet in 2015, they felt the need to make anybody who would believe this over what NASA presents you and what the most vocal in science are presenting, they want to mock you and ridicule you. In a major publication, to belittle you so much that anybody who comes across this who's not yet ready to entertain this because of their propaganda and brainwashing and edumacation, that they would ridicule you as opposed to taking you seriously enough to entertain the ideas and the thoughts and the points that you could make in conversation. Dinosaurs. Another one. If you doubt dinosaurs, you're a crazy person. There are paleontologists who will tell you the bones that we have found cannot be proven to be dinosaurs in any way, shape, or form. That you could build anything out of what they have found and present it to be factual all you want. But has an entire dinosaur been recovered piece by piece? Absolutely not. They are building these things. They are fake. Much like the moon landings. Fake. Why fake it? Why is it so important to them for this to be their reality? For the age of the Earth? For these ancient large lizards to have been factual? For evolution to be factual? Why is it so important? You ever ask yourself that one? 1/3 of Americans believe humans have existed in their present form since time began. These quacks, how dare you think this, you idiots? Less than half of all Americans believe the Earth is warming because humans are burning fossil fuels. Well, now, Al Gore presented a film I watched in high school. Might have been a little after high school, but Florida's not supposed to be here right now, guys. I'm sorry. I'm right here in Florida, not too far from the beach. But guess what? When I was growing up, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, the beach was the same distance and the water height was the same exact spot. It has not changed one single bit. Oceanfront properties that were bought my lifetime ago are still oceanfront properties with beautiful views. So were they doing this so that we wouldn't buy the property, or were they doing this to scare the crap out of us and make us think that we needed to somehow change our lifestyles dramatically, or else we were going to be the reason that the end of times came about, the end of the earth, the end of the world? You are going to do it because you're pumping gas. Think about this. This is one of the most blatant lies in our lifetime. How could we possibly trust the people that all sang the same tune? Consensus in modern science is sure that we're going to melt the ice caps, that the sea levels are going to rise, global warming is going to make most of several continents uninhabitable, And it's all because you guys are burning your fossil fuels, making babies. You see a problem now? Yet? Hurricane Sandy was not caused by human-made climate change, but the damage it did to the Jersey Shore was exacerbated by sea level rise, which we now is knowing is bullshit, which is caused in part by climate change. For those who question the consensus on this and other polarizing issues of science, skeptical beliefs become almost like badges of membership of loyalty to the group, says Yale researcher Dan Cahan. Well, that's a group I'm proud to be part of because it turns out we were right. It was a badge. It was a badge of honor to be in that group ahead of time. And guess what? That brings us to the next topic. Vaccine backlash. Let's see. Vaccine avoidance has surged in the U.S. 46 states allow religious exemptions from vaccination requirements, and 19 states allow philosophical ones. Well, time has told a completely different story. Bravo to those states. Bravo to those claiming those exemptions. Bravo to anyone that dodged the billions of dollars of propaganda to take the COVID vaccine, which now studies are showing can fuel cancer, does nothing for this supposed illness, and has rendered many with heart issues. You see people falling over on soccer fields, young, healthy, otherwise healthy people, with zero excuse, zero reason. Oh, maybe it was this mass vaccination program that you forced upon people to keep their jobs, that you pressured people into, that you rewarded with donuts and strippers and all kinds of other things. As you peer pressured people into it, as you scared them into it, as you paid celebrities to endorse these crap poison products, as you locked down cities, you took away freedoms until this was available, and then tried to force it upon everyone. Yeah, I'm not going to trust you again in this lifetime. And in fact, I will automatically dismiss anything and everything you have to say for the rest of my life. That is the reality. I went from a skeptic on so many of these things and somebody who was absolutely positively going to dodge all of your systems and all of your remedies for being a man, being human. And you've offered many. You've got a lab coat, a shrink, you've got all kinds of different answers for most of the problems that you've started in the first place. And people are going to realize that too. Problem, action, problem, reaction, solution, all this is all on the system. And these propped up voices, these thought leaders are there to enslave us, to push us into these pens, to push us into a situation that they can profit upon us. That's it. That's why they lie to our faces. That's why they brainwash us from the time we're going into elementary school. That's it. Control, render us poor and leave us in poverty and destroy our health so that they can offer us remedies at extreme profits. They sell you these lifestyle choices that you will voluntarily choose and things that you will voluntarily chase, which are just wasting your most precious resource, and that is time. And they'll destroy every bit of it they can possible to keep you under the thumb of tyranny. And it really is just that. We must free ourselves from mental slavery. Oh, Bob Marley, you nailed that one. I will automatically dismiss any and everything that you're promoting. I haven't owned a TV in a while. I take it back. I do actually have a TV that I put the internet to and stream everything that I choose to put across that stream. Primarily lectures, jujitsu, dog training, poker, weird things. Yeah, I know, I'm a weirdo. But I've turned my back on everything that you want to program me with for one reason and one reason only: self-preservation. If you're not aware what self-preservation really is, your instinct is being whitewashed. It's being destroyed. If you've paid attention and you've seen the lie after lie after lie after lie, and then the profiting of for these same individuals off of the lies, much like this Ukraine and Israel and all these foreign wars that they're taking our taxpayer money and all of our resources and sending abroad for, and then funneling back into a few select politician dirtbags' pockets. This is a system that has worked this way our entire life. I don't believe anything comes out of Hollywood or comes across your educational system, your propped up figureheads without a reason. I just don't. And I will automatically dismiss their opinions, their instructions, their consensus. And I will not give the benefit of the doubt. I refuse. Part of critical thinking. I thought this was really interesting. Look it up. Find a copy of this. Give it a read. Look at the stuff that they were trying to hold on to. Public opinion. Keeping the masses believing their baloney, their lies. And the things that the narratives that they knew they were losing control of. I think that this is even more so a sign of that. They knew the writing was on the wall, and that they couldn't stop it. Maybe they could contain it for a little while, but they couldn't stop it. So I ask you, what's next? Fiat? Is the dollar going to die? Usury? Is it finally going to be, just get rid of it. Burn it all down. Central banks, let it go. Find it ironic that people haven't taken to the streets over that yet. We just had tax day. I find it a bit appalling and a bit ironic. But you know what? They laid down for, health care communistic implementation as well. So why would they ever stand up for their own hard-earned dollars and cents? Anyways, my thoughts for today. The war on science was actually just a war on keeping control, a war on us, a war on critically thinking, independent humans. And all of you critical thinking, independent, non-dependent on the state and on their medical crap institutions, I am proud of you all. I am stoked to be here with you. And I'm thankful for you. We've still got a heck of a big fight ahead of us, so let's be honest. This was episode 45. I have been building my mom a greenhouse. She really wants to be able to grow vegetables, all the vegetables and flowers and things that she loves, without the lizards and iguanas and birds and everything eating it. So that's why I haven't been here this week and last week, and I'm going to be working on this for another week or two, but I'm happy to be back in front of you all and sharing some of my thoughts, the war on science. I'm going to get back in here and talk about adaptations in the next episode, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you all for joining me. Once again, this was the Josh Button Podcast. Until next time.